Hello, Braves country. It's Coach Ken Anderson coming to you for Hardcore Braves, and I got my main man Ryan. How the heck are you doing tonight, Ryan?
Well, Ken, I'm glad you asked, man. We just swept the team that I absolutely cannot stand the most. I know yours is the Mets, but I really just cannot stand the Phillies, and we just spanked their behinds for 3 games. I am ecstatic. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's wonderful. We can all see the Phillies are walking around kind of like in a zombie mode. They're struggling, and when you have teams struggling like that, when you're the better team, you've got to go in there and make a statement. And the Braves did. They only allowed 3 runs in the whole series. That's pretty outstanding, right?
Yeah, hats off to the pitchers, man. They did a really good job. And I will say, Grant kind of nutted up again today, man. He looked like he was going to get it away in the first inning, but he locked it down and pitched a really good ball game.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. So we're going to start off on Friday night. It was the game that when we previewed on Braves Hip Coil, we thought this. If you're a betting guy, you need to start betting with us when we have our sure shots because we said we were going to light up Taiwan Walker, and this was a game that we thought we surely would win, and we did 9-0. And the offense, we said if they just make Walker throw strikes, he couldn't get them out, and that's what we did. It was a beautiful offensive performance all the way up and down the lineup, and we did what we needed to do to beat probably one of the bottom 5 starting pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that bottom five major league pitchers getting paid 18 million smackers from the Philadelphia Phillies. That's got to suck. But overall in this game, me and you talked about it on Brave Sip Cole that this was a big game, not only to win, but you needed to beat the piss out of them to get into their bullpen so you could wear them out early in this game to make them less of a problem later in the series because you're going to have to face Sanchez and Painter. And they did that in game one. And somebody's pick to click also had a pretty good series here, Ken.
Yes, he did. I mean, Austin Riley in the game had 2 home runs. The big home run by Austin was the first one. To give just to release any doubt that Philadelphia could get back in the game, it's a big 3-run shot, and he hit it right into right center. When Austin hits home runs in the right center, we know what he's going to be getting hot, and it looks like Ryan Austin is on the verge of a big breakout few weeks here. I think.
Yeah, he looks really good, man. He's staying on the sliders, cutters away from him, and really driving them well. He's also starting to turn on the fastball inside consistently, not just here and there, but consistently. This series, he was able to turn on the fastball, which is a very welcome sight, since that's probably the singular biggest problem that he's had in the past few years. So, really good signs from Austin.
Yeah, and we got a home run from Dom in this game, and we got a home run from Michael Harris. We'll get to Michael a little bit more as we get to Game 3, but the other thing that we did is we again used small ball and was able to score some runs. We did this in every game this series, and I kind of put out on the recap tonight. If this team plays small ball the way they're playing right now and with their power, this is a very dangerous offense. And I can put it up there close to the Dodgers. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. I mean, you're not going to go out there and score 5 or 6 runs every single night. I mean, you're going to be facing some aces that you're going to have to nickel and dime them to death. You're going to have to work counts. You're going to have to sack fly. You're going to have to get the guy over from second base with less than 2 outs in order to get the sack fly. And the Braves are doing all the little things right now, and it's really nice to see because we haven't done that for a few years now.
Yeah, you're right. And, so the offense was outstanding. But when you get in a series and we've got 10 straight games against divisional teams, you want that first game from the pitching standpoint to go as smooth as possible. And if you had to dial it up your Walt Weiss, you're thinking, man, if Perez can give us 6 innings and a victory, and maybe I can get a big lead and mop it up with Suarez. Well, guess what he did? That's what he got. Martin was real shaky in the first inning, but as a veteran does, he got out of it, and then he just shut the door on the Phillies. He got 4 Ks, no runs. His ERA now, Ryan, is down to 2.21. Talk to me about Martin Perez. He's actually kind of been a good fifth starter for us.
He's been really good as a fifth starter. I mean, I think there's a lot of major league teams right now that would love to have this guy as their number five starter, quite frankly. Look, he's not going to be Chris Sale. He's not going to be a number one, number two that everybody wants in your rotation up and down, but he's going to go out there, he's going to battle, he's going to try to hit his spots, and he's going to try to eat 5 to 7 innings up from it for your bullpen so those guys aren't wearing down. And I mean, you saw it in this first inning right here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and he gets out of it and kind of the epitome of the Phillies offense. You know, your top three guys kind of get something going, and then nobody else could do anything with it. So Phillies are in a really rough spot. Martin Perez really locked it down and came through and nutted up when he needed to, and the Braves just took advantage after that.
Yeah, they really did, and we've been begging for that part of the bullpen between 5 and 8 to really show us something. And Suarez finally had an outing that you can live with. He went 3 innings, got to save. That's not the important part, but he mopped it up, got in really no trouble as the Braves pulled ahead, and he saved the bullpen for what we knew was going to be two close games with Sanchez and Painter going in the next two. So finally, Jose Suarez, who I don't really like too much on the team, but he at least gave us something that we can live with. If he can just do that in a mop-up row, he can actually stick with his team. Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about how important things were to go correctly in game one, right? Braves had to get Walker out. They had to get to the Phillies bullpen, had to wear them out a little bit. And it was important for us not to use the high leverage guys because we were going to need them in games two and games three because, quite frankly, I mean, you're going to face Sanchez and Painters. Those are two ace types of pitchers that you're not going to score a ton of runs off of. So Suarez did a really good job of saving those guys for us.
He really did. So we get the win 9-0. The team feels good. And that was our third victory in a row. And the one thing we haven't done all season is get over that. That was our third time we'd won three in a row. So we get to Saturday night, and it's a great pitchers matchup with Chris Sale against Christopher Sanchez, and both pitched great. Both had really good stuff, and Chris Sale, you know, I don't even think he's thrown his best right now, Ryan. But he goes 7 innings, 1 run. It was a home run to the kid Reyes on his first major league at bat for the Phillies. But he had 7 Ks, and Chris, I don't know if he's pitching his best right now, but boy, he sure looks like an ace out there, don't he?
I mean, isn't that the definition of an ace? They don't have their best stuff, but they can still find a way to go 7 innings and give up 1 to 2 runs. I mean, that's kind of what Chris Sale is, and I'll agree with you. He really didn't have good command of his pitches until about the fifth or sixth inning. Once you got later in the game, that's when you really started seeing Chris Sale's slider really drop and really be sharp. That's when you really started seeing him command the fastball to both sides of the plate really well. He looked better as the game went on. He didn't look great early on for me. But again, 7 innings, 1 run? He pitched
Yep,
great.
he really did. And you know, the offense was knew we knew we were going to have a tough time against Sanchez. He has a really good changeup. He has really good arsenal. He can really spot his fastball. And so the small ball come into play is they jump out 1-0. We score three. Dubon has a really good at bat. He gets a 2-run single to give us the lead. And Mauricio is never going to be like wow you sometimes, but what he does is he puts the ball into play. And it was nice to see us put some bats together. Got him deep in the counts with Sanchez to get the 3 runs, and you saw, I think, Sell then pick it up, and you started feeling better about winning that game, especially that Phillies offense as lackluster as they've been lately.
Yeah, unfortunately for Philly, they just cannot score any runs right now. And I'll be honest with you, we got down 1-0. I was not worried. I felt really confident in us coming back in that game just because of how the offense has been, especially with working counts. And not only did they work counts, but when they got a fastball early, that's when Sanchez really had to make an adjustment. He started noticing these guys were jumping on his fastball. I think they were like 4 for 7 or something off his fastball. So that's when you really started seeing a ton of changeups from him. But when he made that adjustment, the Braves made an adjustment right back. They really started working counts against him, and they started making him get the ball up. And Sanchez was done after like 5 or 6 innings. They did a really
Yeah,
good job.
They really did, and they got him into the bullpen to use the bullpen again. Far as our bullpen, they had a couple of days rest that back end, and Dylan Lee come out and looked really good. And then Suarez come out, and I said it on the recap. He was throwing piss missiles up there. That strikeout of Harper, where he throws a 101-mile-an-hour fastball, was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. Uh, Lee and Suarez looked great, don't you think, Ryan?
Yeah, again, that's the one dude I wanted for us in the bullpen was Suarez, man, because he's just got that 101 miles an hour that he just doesn't give a crap about, and he's gonna say, "Here it is, hit it if you can." And 9 times out of 10, the hitters aren't going to be able to because it's so effective. And oh yeah, he doesn't just have 101; he's also got a 90-mile-an-hour changeup that falls off the plate, and then oh yeah, he's also got a 96-mile-an-hour cutter that looks like a slider. So good luck. That was the one dude I wanted, and I'm so happy that we got him.
Yeah, well, I did a show for New York, and we ranked the relievers, and I ranked him the number two best reliever in baseball because I just think he's unhittable when he's on. So he looked really good. As far as the ABs, it's hard to really judge a lot of times when Sanchez is pitching because he's such a good pitcher. He's to me one of the top when he has his own, definitely one of the top 10 pitchers in the MLB. But two of the guys who had really good bats all night long were Ozzy Albies and Jonah Heim. And they don't get a lot of love on Twitter for some reason, but they're actually having really good at bats right now, and good. And we need Ozzy to be really good at second base and have a really good year and try to get an extension. And as far as Jonah Heim, just give us that depth at catcher. So it was really nice to see Ozzy and Jonah have good games.
Yeah, man. I said it back in spring training, man. I just like the way Ozzy looks. He's finally he's really well balanced with his swing now. He's hitting the ball well. He's bat the ball again. He's not striking out a lot. He's walked a couple more times this series. That's my one big thing I want him to get it better at is walking. But I mean, shoot, he's even made some defensive plays I haven't seen him make since 2021 in this series. Like Ozzy looks really good, and Jonah Heim had a couple of hits, and he calls a really good game. So I'm glad to see him getting the bat going. He's look, I know everybody gets onto him for not being great with the bat, but what he does is call a really good game and handles the pitching staff well, and that's what you want your backup catcher to do. That's why I like him staying, hopefully, within this organization.
Yeah, it's going to be a major decision. Murphy should be back here sooner than later. Maybe at the end of this road trip or at the end of the next homestand before they go out west. It'll be a decision, where they go. We talked about it. We'll go ahead and mention it here. I think there's a possibility. Who can you get through waivers here, Ryan? And they may keep Jonah and see if they can't sneak Farmer. Or Farmer probably through the waiver wire. What do you think about them sneaking Farmer through and putting him at Gwinnett and keeping Jonah on the roster?
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't. If Jonah goes through, if you try to DFA Jonah Heim, there's going to be a major league organization out there that's going to pick him up. I just there's not much good catching available, and he is a good catcher. I'm not saying he's a great hitter. He is a good catcher, and that's in high demand. That's always in high demand. But Kyle Farmer's probably the one out of a few that you can definitely sneak through waivers. I don't know if you could even sneak Mateo through waivers at this point, just because he has elite speed and he's really good defensively, and teams love that as well. So I think, unfortunately for Mr. Farmer, he will be the odd man out going down to Gwinnett.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, things take care of itself. So we'll see how that goes. We go up 2-0. We win a series. Still the only team in Major League Baseball who has not lost a series. We have that in our pocket. But the one thing we haven't done this year, we just try to do against a very good pitcher in Mr. Andrew Painter. He throws gas, and he's a big frame, and we knew it was going to be kind of tough tonight. And it was. And we needed Holmes to have a good outing. And poor Granny goes out in the first two batters, goes base hit, home run, and the sky was falling on Twitter. But Grant did what he does, and he's a bulldog, and he got himself into the fifth inning. And I think him kind of nutting up right there and getting himself to the fifth inning was the difference in the ball game tonight. Give us a chance to win this game. What do you think?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Because can you imagine Jose Suarez coming in the second inning, and then oh yeah, you got Aaron Bummer coming out behind him there. There's just no shot. Even with how bad the Phillies' offense is, that's just not a recipe for success if you're the Atlanta Braves are relying on those two guys to bridge the gap to the back end of the bullpen. So Grant really did a good job in getting to the fifth inning, and then the bullpen carried it the rest of the way there.
Yeah, and so he gets through, and we're 2-0, and we're going to talk about Michael Harris here. Michael Harris hits a home run, and his second of the series. And Michael is in a really good place, and if it took Esther giving birth to Trip to take Michael to the next level, are we not blessed? Because Michael just looks so relaxed since the birth of his child, and it looks like he may go on a serious run here, Ryan.
Well, you're going to be you're spoiling what my pick to click was, Ken, for the next series possibly. So, but yeah, Michael looks great, man. He's taking walks. He's got 6 of my 40 walks this year, Ken. I wonder when he got his 6th walk last year. That's that would be a fun stat to look up, but he looks great at the plate, and here comes the homer on the hanging slider that he absolutely demolished right there. He looks like the Michael Harris of 2022 and 2023. It's really fun to watch right now.
Yeah, I think it was in September when he got it. He's feeling good about himself, but we just get the one run, and then we play some of the best small ball, and it's really game hardly break down the inning. We had long at bats. Now look, Dubon's not going to get the love, but Dubon's bats tonight were 10, 9, and 10 pitches, and those wear on a guy. But we found a way to put the ball in play. Um, Matt hustled out of the box to tie the game, which was huge. Austin, he hit one of those numbers again, and he's running. We already talked about how well he's running. That gets us another run. We get the lead, and again, you can talk some more about the small ball, how we're just able to put some runs on the board without hitting a home run. And like you said, against these elite pitchers like Painter can be, you're going to have to be able to do that to win these games, especially when we get to postseason.
Look, for people who say, strikeouts don't matter, this series is a clear indication of why strikeouts do matter. If the Braves strike out like they were doing the last couple of years, we're not winning this ball game. Because guess what? The Phillies were the ones who were striking out a ton this series, and they didn't win a single game. Contact matters. Putting the ball in play matters. Making the team actually make a play matters. Because as you see, the Phillies kind of booted the ball around a little bit this series, and that's why we won one of the games, arguably. So, again, the guys are having really good at bats. Dubon putting together those 10 pitch at bats today was that just wore Painter down. That's why Painter was done after what, 4 or 5 innings today, is because of those long at bats. That matters. That type of stuff matters and adds up over the course of a series. You get into their bullpen earlier, you wear their bullpen out, they become less effective later on in the series. The guys they played a perfect series. They did really, really well.
I agree. And just to tease, we got tomorrow. We'll have our preview on Ryan's show, Braves Hip Coil for the Nat series. That's a 4-game set, and it'll be even more pivotal that we keep having these at bats because the Nats bullpen is down on the bottom third of bullpens in baseball, and the more we can get in that pen and make them work in a 4-game series will be pivotal. So these at bats do matter. So the game is 4-2, and Grant has given it everything he's got, and he gets in a really tough spot. We get runners on second and third, and you know, somebody asked me, "What is this move bringing in Bummer?" I said, "Well, the numbers say it's supposed to be the right move, but as me and Ryan say, it just doesn't like he's got it anymore, and I don't know how much longer he can do this." Luckily, Bryce kind of comes off the ball just enough to hit a rocket. That ball probably should have been down the line because he missed his spot by a good 4 inches. And Austin Riley saved the game right there because that goes down in the corner. That's a 4-4 ball game, and who knows what might happen at that point. And of course, Matt on the other side made a really good play too. So, really special play there by Austin and Matt to save the game there in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, I will say, looking at the pitch again, he made a good pitch, but at the same point in time, he also almost gave up a double down the line. I almost scored a run to Schwarber. That the ball missed his spot by a foot and a half. It looked like, but I just he just doesn't have it, man. He just doesn't have it anymore. He's throwing literally men's league pitches up there, and you're asking him to get big league hitters out. Prime Bryce Harper, you're talking 2022 Bryce Harper. He doesn't chase that sweeper 10 feet outside. Like, he just doesn't. So, did we get a little bit lucky there? Yeah, but how much luckier are you going to continually get if you keep pitching Bummer? I don't know. I don't want to find out. I want Aaron Bummer gone. I think I've made that very well known. When I saw him up in the bullpen, I almost croaked, Ken.
Yeah, Chad, y'all were right blowing me up, and Ryan had didn't notice he was up in the pen before y'all did, and he did almost have a heart attack. He said that you can buy him a jersey, but only if he could burn it in eulogy when Aaron's gone. So don't buy him a jersey yet, but if he's going to be gone, you can buy one, and he will burn it right here on air on the podcast for you who are ready for Aaron Bummer to go. So we go into the six, and Tyler, people were complaining about Tyler throwing, but Tyler hadn't thrown in a few days. And I'm telling you, when you're a reliever, it's you need to kind of throw a lot, and his control was definitely off. He was wild, but he got through the inning. And then here comes Lee. Lee was good again. Suarez was very good. You could tell both of them were pitching on back-to-back nights. The velocity was down just a tick on both of them, but they were very good. And we get to Iglesias in the ninth, and he hadn't thrown in 3 days, and he also then kind of struggled a little bit, and with his control, and we already heard from Mark Bowman that he had slept, or Chad Bishop, I think both put it out that he had slept wrong, and that's the reason why he was not available yesterday. So I'm sure all Braves country was getting a little nervous in that ninth inning, but Rossio, he really bowed up in that ninth inning and got us out of it. So just talk about that back end of the bullpen from Ken Leon. I got what I thought I was going to see. Kenley a little wild, Iglesias a little wild because he hadn't pitched in a while, and Lee and Suarez were good. But let's face it, all four of them, they do the job on the back end of the games, and they did what we needed them to do tonight.
Yeah, I mean they continue to pitch well, right? I mean, look, I know Kinley hadn't pitched in a few days, but throw strikes. That's the only thing I ask out of my pitchers is to throw strikes. Please do it. Iggy, he had the boo boo on the shoulder, so I knew his velo was going to be down a little bit, which it was early on, but then he was able to crank it up to 94, 95. He had a really good changeup again tonight. He looked good after he started settling in the ninth, and he was able to shut the door down, which has been a problem for him against the Phillies. So it's kind of nice to see him get that monkey off his back a little bit.
Well, he also was able to get the last out before getting to Harper. Harper's the guy who owns Rossiel, so that would have been a little exciting uh, for Chat. That's the hitter speaking. I used to have the hitters come to the dugout and talk to me. Can we not get this guy to throw strikes? So Ryan's speaking from the hitter's heart, and it is frustrating for him. So the final out was beautiful because anytime Ronnie can make the final
What a
out and give it
play.
to the Philly fans, yeah, what a play! He's a really good defensive player. Doesn't get the love like he should. But I love when he makes the final outs in games and just loves to give the Philadelphia fans as much, manure he can. It warms my heart. How about you, Ryan?
How about the troll job he did in what was that game one against when Harper hit it to the freaking literally up to the sky, sitting there slowly trotting to the wall, and then he just turns back around and catches the ball, and Harper was he's just astonished. I thought that was great personally.
Yeah. Anytime we control the Phillies and Mets, it's a good day. So we sweep the series. Before we get into the MVP and the play of the series, anything else stand out in the series to you?
I got to give love to my offense, man. They are following the game plans that we are putting out on Braves Hip Coil. If y'all haven't checked that out, you should because we have absolutely nailed every single series, and that is 3 in a row for us. Me and Ken are doing that, and the offense has been listening. Probably not, but I like to think they do, and they're having probably the best at bats I've seen since 2023. It's really fun to watch them go to work offensively. It's really fun.
Yeah, I think Chad and Bo are taking the video down in the clubhouse for us, so they're getting it down there. Shout out to Chad and Bo if you're doing that, getting that video to the hitters. So I'm proud of my pitchers, 3 runs. And I know Philly's offense is struggling, but it still doesn't matter. MLT teams break out all the time when they're struggling. We held them down 3 runs in 27 innings. So good series overall. So let's go to the play of the series. So many to pick from. There were a lot of good moments and big moments in this series. But Ryan, what was the one that stood out to you?
I got two. Can I have two?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 3-run bomb for Austin Riley because that really just put the nail in the coffin in game one and allowed the Braves to really go to work into the bullpen in game one, which was huge. And then the second play of the series is the final out. I mean, the last game was Ronald Acuna's catch to solidify it because if that ball gets over his head, it's a tie ball game. You got Bryce Harper coming up. So, two really good plays on both ends of the baseball.
I agree. Both of them are outstanding and very pivotal in this series. I'm going to go to a different play than those two, but a similar guy, and that's Austin Riley. That play he made in the bottom of the fifth, he made it look very easy, and that's a very difficult play. There's so many third basemen that would have missed that ball and went down the line and tied the ball game. So I'll go with Austin and a
Alec
great
Bohm.
scoop. Oh yeah, Alec Bohm. He does not catch that ball. And Matt on the other end knows that Austin has to bounce that ball to get it to him. And being ready for that, and Matt is the best first defensive first baseman in baseball. And that's so nice to have right there when your infielders can throw the ball where they want to. And he always scoops it. So that's my play of the series. So uh, I hate to even ask you, but MVP.
Big thick Austin Riley. Are you kidding me? I think he was what? If my math is mathing right, 5 for 14, 2 bombs, and he drove in 6 runs. How is that not your MVP? That is my MVP. My pick to clicked, chat. He clicked. That's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, he crushed it, and he did short him by one hit. I think he got 6 hits in this series, so it's a outstanding series by Austin. And I think I had somebody have a better series. Mr. Michael Harris, 6 for 7, 2 walks, 2 home runs, and he is primed for Ryan to. We've already taped the series for the Nats coming out tomorrow. We had somebody to do this weekend, so he's already told you he's his pick to click, and I think he's primed to do that. What a great series by Michael, and it's just so fun to watch Michael have fun and playing baseball, and it's, him and Ozzy when they're having fun playing baseball, this team takes off. So Michael Harris, 6 for 7, 2 homers, 2 more walks. I told Ryan there's no chance he'll get to 40, and now I think he'll go screaming by 40 this year. So, what do you
Six
think
out of
about
40.
that? Yeah,
6 out of 40, Ken. I look. Listen, Michael and Ozzy are doing me right so far early on this series season. All right, Michael's already got 6 walks. He might not have got his 6 walks until what, September last year, possibly. Look, Michael, I'm not hitting
September.
on you. I'm just saying it was bad. Okay, we can own that. Ozzy, he's got right around a 780 OPS so far. He's doing damage again. He's got some bombs. He's hitting around 280s, playing good defense. All I'm saying is they're making me look smart.
They are. They are. And two good dudes, too. They're both just great guys. So we head to Washington. Here come the Nats, and I put out on Twitter today the one thing that's interesting with the Nats are mashing the baseball right now. They're hitting the baseball, but they're also giving up a lot of runs. So the Braves, Bo announced on Twitter that the rotation is being flipped, which makes sense. So they're going to throw Big Texas on Monday, Lopez on Tuesday, Perez on Wednesday, Sell on Thursday. Dieter did get scratched, and I think that's smart because that allows you, if you want to maybe pitch him either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how the first 2 games go. And there's a lot of leeway with Dieter right now that you can do some different stuff. And if you get an extra day's rest for Chris Sale, that can never hurt. So how do you think the Braves are looking at the pitching going in the National Series? I know what we've lined up as, but it seems like Dieter is right now sitting in the background like, you just sit right here. We may have to do something with you. And it may even be in the bullpen. We'll see. But it's obvious that Alex and Walt and Jeremy have a plan going into this series, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean they always do, and they're always staying one step ahead. It seems like this year, which is a really good thing. I think that's how you got to play it. I don't. We already talked about how on Hip Call how Jake Irvin just absolutely owns us for no freaking reason. So I don't like us in game one, and then you're facing probably their best starter in Foster Griffin in game two. So you know, the Braves need to split the series. That's what I want from it. But I think you can throw Didier if you want to. I mean, he's got good stuff, and I don't think he's going to be phased by the Washington Nationals. Look, no disrespect to the Washington Nationals, but you might have to score 15 runs at right now to in order to win a ball game for the Nationals. So I still like the Braves at least splitting, if not winning 3 out of 4 this series. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, and I like the fact they flipped them because I think they knew that they were going to use a lot of their bullpen, the prime arms, and Saturday and Sunday's game. And of the two, Elder and Lopez, Elder tends to be the guy who can give you. He's durable, and and you still got Lopez coming off the injury, so you can just give the ball to Bryce, and Bryce is one of those guys. Yeah, I love this kind of guy. You're going to go give me 100 pitches tonight, and it might be him tomorrow night. Like Bryce, you're going to have to go throw hundreds. If he's off, guys. I mean, he has a 0.77 ERA. He's going to have a bad game. And I had somebody say, he does something in this series with the National. I think it was Dawson that tweeted me, and he'll finally show me. Well, that's a lot of pressure because he's going to eventually have a human. Dawson, to he point. That's right. If he does and shoves against this Nationals offense, guys, we have something special in Bryce Elder. So I do like the fact of what Alex did there. So I'm with you. We need a split. I'd like to have 3 out of 4. I think the pivotal game again is going to be the game one, like it was in Philadelphia with Irvin. If we got it, we've got to finally hit him, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm tired of Jake Irvin absolutely owning our biscuits for no reason, if I'm being 100% with you, Ken, because the rest of the league just absolutely, and excuse my language, shits all over Jake Irvin. And it's about time we shit all over Jake Irvin for once. What about you, Ken?
Yeah, he gives a stat on hip coil, and I told him I didn't think it was the right stat because I feel like Jake Irvin has a 0.79 ERA against us. He seems like he shoves all the time. I'm tired of him too. He's probably a nice guy, does a lot for the community, probably loves puppies and all that good stuff. But I hope he gets his ass handed to him on a platter tomorrow night. Our guys are really swinging the bat well right now. And Ryan's right. The first 2 games, if we can stay hot against those two, I feel really good against the back end. Their 3 and 4 starters are really struggling this year. And if we win the first 2, then we're definitely going to be thinking 3 out of 4. So it's going to be huge. So we talk about it on Hip Coil, but we'll show it on here. Who do you think will have a huge series in the Nat series coming up?
All right, chat. We recorded Hip Coil on Saturday, so this was before Michael Harris went 3 for 3 with another home run. Okay, all right. It's Michael Harris because he absolutely just craps all over Nationals pitching. I think he's hitting like 314 in his career with a boatload of extra base hits, and I think like 5 or 6 or 7 home runs against him. He wears them out, is what I'm trying to say to y'all. So Michael Harris is my pick to click for the 4 game set in Washington. Ken, what you got?
It's Ronnie. Ronnie's primed, and I love him getting the last out and feeling really good before he gets on I mean, they may even take a bus from Philadelphia to Washington. It's a short trip, so either the bus or the plane. And I think Ronnie's going to feel great. And I think this is the kind of pitching staff that Ronnie can light up. The one good pitcher the best pitcher they have is the lefty that kind of throws in his heat map zone. So um, yeah, I'm thinking Ronnie may have a big series. I'm also thinking that we may get a special performance out of Bryce tomorrow night. I think Bryce is going to actually show Braves country. The talk with Greg Maddox actually helped, and like I said, he's going to be handed the ball tomorrow and be told you got to go 100 tonight. And Bryce, if he gets that sinker working, that might get him into through the 7th inning. So um, we both think the same thing. Let's just go for a split. Let's not ask for more. Go for a split. That's a 5-2 road trip, chat. 5-2 against your division rivals. That's a good road trip. Anything else on the Nationals as we head to Washington?
I got nothing on the Nationals, but I got one more thing on the Phillies. Y'all are what? What is that way down there in the bottom of the standings? You're down there with the basement dweller New York Mets. What is it? 6 games back? 6 games already? Ooh, it's getting late early for you guys.
Yeah, it's the next 7 games, huge divisional games. The Braves, what it'll allow you to do, Chat, if the Braves can keep this up and get through the Tiger series before they head out west. They have a horrible West Coast trip. One of the ones that every team in MLB would hate to go through is go to Colorado, go to Seattle, and go to LA. It's not as much the talent. And if you notice today, Colorado beat LA. The Rockies are playing good baseball for themselves. And that time change, that air, I'm telling you, it's going to be a tough road trip. And if you can have a big lead and go on that 9 game road trip and go, look, we go 3-6, we're good. So I think that's what we have to do. Finish this deal in April and have a 6 game lead when we head out west. And this team is sitting pretty to win the division. Is how I feel. So that's where we are. So Ryan, uh, got some stuff coming, don't we? So we got, us and Ryan. If you missed it, Ben finally got to get in here with his baby Braves. We've been excited to release it. He did a thing on John Hill. Make sure you check that out. And Mr. Who's coming now next? We got somebody coming Tuesday, we announced, Ryan. Uh,
Favorite accounts on X, man. One of my favorites. If y'all are not following him, you need to. Lethal Platty. God, that's such a good name, isn't it? God, that's such a good name. Should be a baseball team in the minor leagues, I swear.
yeah, I think it should be. And he's going to do our minor league report. It'll come out every Tuesday, and he'll be on all 4 teams. So you'll get some Gwinnett, you'll get some Columbus, you'll get some Rome, you'll get some Augusta. And if you haven't paid attention, all 4 of them are playing pretty good ball. So the minor leagues are doing well, the kids are doing well, and so it's going to be exciting. So that's coming. Erin has got more stuff coming. She said she's got some special stuff she's working on. The one thing we haven't mentioned yet, I think she's going to do something on. Oh, how about a congratulations to Chris Sale, who passed Tom Glavine on the strikeout list this series? Tip of the hat. And we debate in our, and y'all can start and tell us what you think in the comment section. We'll get Ryan to speak on it here before we have our drawing. If Chris Sale finishes his career like he's pitching right now and the Braves do win a World Series, Chris Sale's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Brave and most likely get his 51 retired up in the rafters, don't you think, Ryan?
Absolutely. What was Snit's number? I can't remember.
43. 43.
43. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was 51, but that wouldn't have made any sense. But yeah, absolutely. If Chris Sale continues to throw the ball like he's doing, the Braves won the World Series this year and next year and every year after that, he will absolutely go into the Hall of Fame as an Atlanta Brave.
I'll tell you something funny. The Braves have won world championships with a 51 pitcher, Mr. Pedro Bourbon Jr. in 95, Mr. Will Smith in 2021. Why not Chris Sale 2026? We could have a pattern here of 51s winning us a World Series. So hopefully he'll get in there and hopefully he'll finish his career. And I'd love to see him with a Braves cap on going into the Hall of Fame. So anything else on that, Ryan, before we have our drawing?
Are we doing final thought first, or are we just doing the drawing?
Let's do the drawing, then we'll do final thought. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Draw.
All right. So the drawing is for 2 tickets Saturday night, April 25th. Uh, Phillies. Brian Snickers Hall of Fame induction. I'm sure y'all gonna give him a standing ovation, and he's a stout man. He don't cry a lot. So see if y'all can make him cry. So Ryan picked on me. We had 150 names in these little pieces of paper. These little pieces of paper. I cut up during the game 150 names, and Ryan thought that was hilarious. So I did that for you, chat, just for you. So let's pull a name here, and this will be our winner. 2 tickets, parking pass, Saturday night, April 25th, and it's going to LaDonna Bohannon. LaDonna Bohannon. Okay, here's the interesting thing about LaDonna Bohannon. When I was cutting up the papers, I think she entered on every one of our social media. Guys, follow us on all of the social medias. And when you get these contests, you can enter on all of them. Daniel, we're still pulling for you, ain't we, Ryan? Daniel
That's right.
Schultz,
That's
you're going
right.
to get one of these. We may just give you 2 tickets, Daniel. We may give you 2 tickets to something just because you are in every contest. But LaDonna Bohannon, I'll reach out. She's on every one of our social media, so she'll be able to find. And her, he has 2 tickets and a parking pass. So, got any thoughts for LaDonna winning the ticket?
Make sure you bring the mojo so the Braves win that game. That's all I ask.
Amen. Amen. All right. So, final thought tonight as we close out this pod.
I could use a lot of colorful language for this one, but I'm just going to say the Dodgers are the biggest freaking crybabies in all of baseball. Ken, they are accusing the Colorado Rockies of cheating. Can you believe that crap? They're accusing the Rockies franchise of cheating. I don't even think the Rockies are smart enough to cheat. No offense, Rocky fans. Like, I'm sorry, your organization is just run like a freaking dumpster fire. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just crazy.
Made me laugh, and good for the Rockies. And I hope they were cheating, to be honest with you.
I'm with you on that. I'm absolutely with you on that.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. With the evil empire, I hope they go down. So my final thought is this: time to give Jeremy Hefner some love. The Braves pitching now is 22 games in, and he looks like he's really the real deal, and he's done a great job of managing, helping Walt manage this team. I don't think any of our pitchers are really taxed. They're going through all of them, even though they make us nervous sometimes when they put a couple of them out there. I think they're handling it very well, matching up, and I like these. I like the way he talks to the guys, and him bringing this 2 seam. A lot of the pitchers have picked up on it, and I think it's been a big difference maker, at least in the first 22 games. So my final thought is some love for Mr. Jeremy Hefner, from a pitching coach to another pitching coach. Great job, Jeremy. So, all right, that's going to be it for the night. Remember, follow us on all social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and the X. And pod will be out early in the morning. And get on there, and then by around lunchtime, Braves Hip Coil will get you all ready for the Nat series. Y'all jump in here and follow Ryan. He's doing a hell of a job. He doesn't want to say it. I made him go on today and brag on himself a little bit. He has hit home runs in all 3 of these series, and if you're missing out, it's your own fault. So get on back, Ryan, and we appreciate y'all. And that's it for us tonight. And as always, go Braves. Peace.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.